Yes, it's either me against one. Yes, that's the back.
Just show us what he wants.
I did not the truth.
Rude.
What is the whole point?
Rude.
What is the whole point of that? Telling people that about their choices.
Because I can.
Yes, you can, 100%. So you mean so it's not a game then. So it is a game, man.
Fuck that
shit.
Guys, can you
what I mean?
I said fuck that shit. I do.
Go back on 2K and enjoy. Then get offended.
I'll wait.
Yes, general. Whatever.
No, I think we should not.
You're embarrassing your fucking self. What the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of
Doesn't
here.
mean me. Don't think me. We're not here for that. I think we're all having a very.
It's fine. The problem.
We're not here for that. I think we're all having a very.
It's fine. The problem is gone.
Your child is a celeb. I'ma take your old bitches on, and you know that. Coming through. I want more. I want it to come up. I will show you how I get it tonight. Come up.
Okay, guys, we need to talk about Thandeka, right? And her behavior in the house. And I know there are people who like her for whatever she does. They cannot see right or wrong, but hey, I'm just gonna talk the truth, Okay, so Thandeka walks through that Big Brother house like someone who believes she's not just a contestant, but the axis around which everyone else must rotate. And from the very beginning, her energy hasn't simply been assertive, it has been domineering. There's a difference. Assertive people state their boundaries and they move on. Thandeka states her boundaries and then policies everyone else's behavior as if she's been appointed moral supervisor of the house. Every disagreement somehow bends back to her feelings, her standards, her interpretation of respect or disrespect. It's exhausting to watch because it creates an atmosphere where everyone else has to shrink slightly just to avoid triggering another confrontation. And the pattern is consistent. Where there's tension, she rarely enters a conversation to resolve it. She enters it to win it. Even when she's wrong, she can't even apologize. You can see it in her body language, the dismissive expressions, the sharp tone, the subtle condescending attitude. She doesn't argue to understand, she argues to dominate. And when housemates push back instead of reflecting, she escalates. That defensiveness is telling. It's as if any disagreement with her automatically becomes a personal attack. She goes for the jugular verbally. That kind of reaction isn't strength, it's fragility disguised as confidence. What makes it more glaring is the hypocrisy. She is called out to others for behaviors she herself displays. She's a narcissist. She criticizes people for gossiping, but participates in side conversations that fuel division. She demands accountability, but struggles visibly when accountability is directed back to her. There's a recurring inability to say, I was wrong. Instead, there's a deflection, justification, reframing, anything but ownership. Over time, that creates resentment. You can see other housemates adjusting how they speak around her, not out of respect but caution, and that's not leadership, that's control through intimidation. Then there's the need to center herself in group dynamics, in group tasks, in conflicts. Even in moments that don't involve her directly, she often inserts herself as commentator-in-chief. It creates this main character syndrome vibe where every narrative must pass through her filter. When things go smoothly, she wants recognition. When things go wrong, someone else is to blame, not her. That imbalance is where viewers start using words like narcissistic, not in the clinical sense, but in the behavioral sense of someone who consistently prioritizes ego over harmony. And the irony is, beneath all this, there are flashes of intelligence and potential. She's not incapable of insight. She can articulate herself clearly, she can be sharp and perceptive. But those strengths are overshadowed by an almost compulsive need to assert superiority. Instead of using her confidence to build alliances, she uses it to draw lines. Instead of influencing through charisma, she often leans into confrontation. Over time, that isolates her. If it wasn't for Melly, I don't know where she would be. And Melly is a strong brother. You're a strong brother because I don't think any man can stand that kind of attitude. You can sense the emotional distance forming between her and others, and in social experiments like Big Brother, isolation itself is self sabotage. Maybe that's the game plan, but I doubt if she's not like this out there in real life. But what ultimately makes her behavior difficult to defend is the pattern. One heated moment can be blamed on stress, two can be coincident, but repeated clashes, repeated defensiveness, and repeated refusal to genuinely self reflect, that becomes character on display. The house is a pressure cooker, yes, but pressure reveals more than it creates. It magnifies what is already there, and what we've seen magnified is someone who struggles with humility, struggles with empathy in conflict, and often chooses pride over peace. The tragedy in it is that dominance is not the same as power. True power in that house would be the ability to influence without fear, to disagree without belittling, to correct without humiliating. Thandeka often mistakes volume for authority and stubbornness for strength. And in doing so, she risks becoming memorable, not for strategy, not for charm, not for growth, but for friction. In a game built on social intelligence, that might be her biggest blind spot. And I'm not saying that she's not gonna win. She will probably win because, toxicity, the toxicity that she possesses is a reflection of how society has glorified toxicity. There are people who defend her come day, night, rain or thunder. And I respect that, but I also look at it as, like there are some things that we should be able to say no, this is wrong, because as much as this is a show, this is also something that influences our culture as people. And if we are not gonna condemn something that is wrong, then we are condoning it, and it seeps into culture, and we become these people who are glorifying toxic values. But hey, that is my take on Thandeka, guys. I don't hate her. I just think that she needs to tone it down a little bit, because how you gonna do something to someone, then when it's done back to you, you hate it. And I've seen people who were saying that she was bullied by Liema and Neliswa and Trixie. But the honest truth is they forget how this all started. Thandeka was the one stepping on everyone's toes. So now when people were like, okay, we're gonna show you that we're not gonna stand for that shit, then she gets angry, she starts crying, she's the victim now, and all her fans are like, oh no, poor Thandeka. But y'all forgot that she started this. So I think Thandeka's fans need to self-reflect and at least point out when something is wrong. I mean, how do you wash your face in the kitchen? She could have boiled that water, taken the pot to the bathroom, and steamed her face in the bathroom, but she had to do it right there on the stove. Like, come on. They are bathrooms for a reason. So now I know this is what people probably like the drama and all that. I'm not refusing that, and she will probably win, but we need to tell the truth about her toxicity and her narcissistic, psychopathic vibe that she has. It's not main character that she thinks she is. She's just, sometimes she's just so negative. Sometimes I'll be watching and people are happy and smiling, and then out of nowhere Thandeka just brings this negative energy because everything needs to be about her for some reason. Okay, guys, that was my take on it. I hope you like and subscribe or follow me if you're on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, subscribe for more critiques like this, and please tell me what you think in the comments. We need to discuss this, and give me some more ideas about who I should do a critique on next. Yeah, thanks for watching.